listening to Race Day Live on Downforce UK, brought to you by Clapham North MOT, Motorsport Days Live, Stopwatch Hospitality, and Trade Price Cars.
Welcome back to BF International. We're getting ourselves back underway with the Senior X30s. A slight pause in the slight pause in the proceedings there. Had a slight hiccup. That's what happens when you take a quick pause. We have the Senior X30 first final coming up next. And it's Oliver Hodgson and Lewis Malin on the front row of the grid from Levi King and Ewan Wilson. Derek Morgan and Archie Tillett, Owen Byatt and Joe Turney. And rounding out the top 10, it's Thomas Turner and Morgan Porter. Scott Jackson and Elliot Harvey. Rory Hudson and Saul Robinson. Luke Hughes, Paul Stewart, Sean Butcher, Bradley Pennell, Henry Laws, Jensen Brown, Josh Thompson-White and Richard Morris. Then Rashad Ghanem, Matt Armstrong, Jake Douglas, Alexander Huang, Cole Kilner, Reese Ushijima, Kieran Long, Sky Siddle and Eleanor and Anna Morris.
Yeah, it's a very busy grid, a very big grid, and Oliver Hodgson unbeaten this weekend. Qualified pole, won both heats yesterday. Lewis Malin was second in both heats yesterday, and Levi King third in both heats yesterday. Ewan Wilson was fifth in both heats yesterday.
And during that pause between races, there was actually a little bit of drizzle that came down as well, so that's going to make the start very interesting, particularly on the outside line where the water tends to carry. So let's have a look and see how this start gets underway for Hodgson, Malin, King, Wilson, Morgan, Tillett, Byatt, Turney, Turner and Porter, and away we go. Cracking start. They all want to be on the inside. They all could just shoot straight on, and there's a little bit of jostling. We got one over the curb, two over the curbs, one spinning in the middle of the pack as well. So that's all gone wrong for a couple of the drivers in there, but that is as to be expected on a slightly greasy circuit. Now that the drizzle has come down, it's all kicking off on this first lap of the Senior X30 Final 1.
Oh, looks like a transponder not working for Sean Butcher, which is a good thing, as I thought he hadn't even started the race. But it's Hodgson leading from Malin, from King. Then it's Ewan Wilson. Fifth place is Owen Byatt, but not for long. Owen Byatt up the inside of Ewan Wilson. Got his elbows out in the process. Derek Morgan has now gone up to fifth, with Ewan Wilson dropping to sixth. Then it is Archie Tillett. Then it is Elliot Harvey. And then it is Joe Turney, as Elliot Harvey now passing Archie Tillett down at the 90 right. So Elliot Harvey up into what I believe is seventh place as we turn our way through the Mike Wilson complex then for the first time. Oliver Hodgson, though, Jake, already disappearing out front. His gap across the line just under 1 second, 0.8 to be exact.
Well, he's been out here in all weathers. He knows how to deal with the greasy, slippery conditions of the first lap, and he has so much knowledge of this particular circuit. So now what we need to do is try and pick out where Sean Butcher is in relation to everybody else.
Well, Saul Robinson was the driver who spun, by the way.
Yes, he was. He's only managed to get back past Richard and Eleanor Morris in the first lap. So Saul Robinson way down to 30th. Where is Butcher? We've got still more places being made up as drivers are going for overtaking moves, led by the 10.
That's Bradley Pennell.
Brad Pennell. So Pennell making up a couple of places.
And Thomas Turner made a place on Rory Hudson. So now he's trying to line up a move on Morgan Porter.
Right, Butcher is in behind Henry Laws, so he's in 17th at the moment, in front of Stewart, Thompson-White and Ghanem.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on that as the race progresses, but no changes out front. The only change is that Oliver Hodgson is clearing off even further, and Levi King is closing in Lewis Malin as we complete lap number 2.
So across the line they come once more. Hodgson 1.3 clear of Malin. King in third place, then Byatt, Morgan, Harvey, Wilson, Tillett, Turney, Hughes, Jackson.
Joe Turney passes Archie Tillett under the bridge.
Yes, indeed.
That's a change for 8th place.
That's Joe Turney up into 8th place then. His next
and
target
a change
is Wilson.
Over the bridge. Levi King into second.
So Levi King gets second. He hasn't beaten Lewis Malin in a straight fight so far this weekend, so he's hoping to do so this time.
But don't forget, he qualified 7th, where Lewis Malin qualified 3rd. So this is the first time he's starting towards the front of the grid.
Very true. So now this is an opportunity for Levi King to stretch his legs out and get away if he can. And Lewis Malin is going to have pressure of his own from Owen Byatt, who is absolutely electric in this particular conditions. It's absolutely brilliant to see Byatt pushing his way forward. He's up 3 places off the grid. Dale Boy is in there as well. Derek Morgan in 5th position. And he's tight up behind Byatt as well. So these 3 are going to be charging down towards Levi King in 2nd place.
Yep, down the start-finish straight. Owen Byatt in that 4th place, closing in on Lewis Malin. Malin struggling by his standards at the moment, and there goes a challenge. Byatt in 4th 4th place, trying to make the move for 3rd place, and he's through. And Derek Morgan over the bridge. Can he make the move? Yes, he can. So Derek Morgan now up into 4th place. Byatt is up to 3rd, and that's Lewis Malin down to 5th place. As behind, Ewan Wilson goes past Elliot Harvey. Joe Turney goes with him, so that's Wilson into 6th.
Oh, contact! 21 and 21 and 18 having an amazing battle. That's Tillett and Hughes having an amazing tussle. Sorry. Jackson is in there as well, but there's an amazing tussle between those two as they jostle for position. It was the 21 of Archie Tillett going sideways off the grass, manages to get the car back together again, but that was all very, very chaotic. Jake Douglas finds himself now at the back of the queue in 32nd. He's lost a few places as well, the Chaos Sport driver. So down the straight comes our leader, Hodgson. Then it's King. Derek Morgan's in behind Owen Byatt for 3rd and 4th position. Then it's Malin, Wilson, Turney. Harvey is 8th now, so Turney's up to 7th and still going strong.
Yeah, the next victim for Joe Turney is going to be Ewan Wilson, but he's got Elliot Harvey going with him as Derek Morgan makes the move on Owen Byatt. So 2 moves over the bridge in 2 laps.
And now Byatt's down behind the 32 of Malin. Malin's got through into 4th position as well. He needs to get this door firmly shut because Ewan Wilson and Joe Turney are next. So Byatt's going to have another crack onto the back of the 32 of Malin. Doesn't go for the move in the second hairpin. Is he going for it into the left-hander? No, he's going to try and get back after Derek Morgan. Morgan, meanwhile, is chasing after the man in second place, Levi King. There's still plenty of squabbles through the field as drivers are really starting to dish the dirt.
That's Luke Hughes, isn't it, leading this battle for, 9th place. He's got the likes of Porter, Jackson, Turner, all queuing up behind as we head on to the start-finish straight and across the start-finish line.
Under the Litchfield Bridge come the leaders. Hodgson, King, Morgan, Malin, Byatt, Wilson, Turney. That's your top 7. Turney's very close. Up the inside comes Byatt. Byatt's going to get on the inside and gets the place there. Yeah. Beautiful move on Lewis Malin. Malin's going to lose another place to Wilson and to Turney. So Turney's through into 6th place now. So now Turney's going to go for Wilson.
And Elliot Harvey goes for Lewis Malin. So that's Turney into 5th and Harvey up to 7th. As Harvey may try for 6th place now if the door opens. Further back, Morgan Porter makes a place on the number 16 of Luke Hughes. So that's Porter into the top 10 in 9th place.
And Thomas Turner's not far behind them either, the 3 plate. So Turner is just on the door of the top 10. So he needs to keep pushing hard as he makes progress through the field as well, trying to get that top 10 position to start his season on a high. Hodgson leads. Derek Morgan is charging after Levi King. He's putting in some good sector times to try and get the gap down. So Derek Morgan wants to be on that front row of the grid for the second final. He's charging hard. Morgan in 3rd from Byatt and Turney. Now Turney is going to want to try and get a decent move on Owen Byatt, but he has got a bit of a train developing behind him at the moment. The 57 gets the warning flag on this lap. That is Sean Butcher. Apparently Archie Tillett is now out of the race as well. So Tillett, having had that difficulty, has had damage.
Morgan Porter making a move down at hairpin 1. That's on Lewis Malin, who continues to struggle, and Thomas Turner now goes past him. So that's 3 places lost on this lap with Porter, Hughes and Turner all going past Malin. That's going to drop him to 11th place. Lewis Malin from the front row of the grid really struggling, Jake.
Yeah, absolutely right, and he's not quite got the confidence in these drizzly conditions. There is still rain in the air, so they are struggling to get the best grip, and that means that we're shuffling the deck quite considerably. Archie Tillett is out of the race now, unfortunately, having had his problems there over the curbs. I think running over the grass has done him some damage, so that's his race over.
That's a shame, as he started 6th place in this final, so he is going to drop down the order in terms of the championship. Going into that second final.
Morgan's eyeing up Levi King. Is he going to come from a long way back to go into the braking zone for 1 and then get him for 2?
No, but Thomas Turner further back is going to try and make a move on Luke Hughes, but runs the pair of them wide. Hughes are understandably frustrated. Now Thomas Turner goes past Malin, who had passed the pair of them.
And Malin's now lost the place to the 16 as well of Luke Hughes. Lewis Malin.
And Elliot Harvey, meanwhile, is going head-to-head here with Morgan Porter. The 2 exchange places at the 2 hairpins.
Well, these greasy conditions definitely favouring some more than others as they battle away around the circuit. This is a tricky one for Derek Morgan to get on the back of Levi King, but he's got company. Owen Byatt's gone with them. Byatt is pushing hard as he tries, the privateer, to get into the top 3, and Byatt, for me, is the one to watch.
He is indeed. He's lining up Del Boy at the moment as we go over the bridge. Behind that, Ewan Wilson trying to make a place back on Joe Turney. I think Ewan Wilson and Joe Turney could
Watch
do well by
Watch
working
Bayer. He's got
together.
a great line off of 5. And he's just been able to catch it there.
Morgan Porter up the inside of Elliot Harvey at hairpin 1. Goes into 6th.
There goes Byatt. Byatt makes the move on Delboy. And Thompson has to hang back in 4th position. Byatt's through into 3rd. Next target, Levi King.
Yeah, good spot there. Morgan Porter, as we said, he's now into 7th place past Elliot Harvey. Owen Byatt, we always knew the move was going to happen on this lap. He just showing that he had the pace to do it. But Derek Morgan doesn't need to panic now. He's still there in 4th place. Levi King is still within reach. Just all he's got to do now. Derek Morgan, very experienced, 5th in his rookie year last year, but very experienced in kart racing at club level. All he's got to do is work with Owen Byatt here, push back up to Levi King, and then he's got a chance for a top 2 finish.
Joe Turney's got some pressure from Ewan Wilson as they battle away for 5th position. Porter trying to close them down. Is this going to be Wilson's move on Turney? No, Turney moves the cover just a couple of inches to the right just to make sure that Wilson doesn't go for it. But he may have trouble keeping him back in the second hairpin. Wilson dives for it, and Turney's going to have to move to cover off Porter. Good move from Wilson, but Turney's going to come straight back at him into the first left-hander.
Oh.
What a brave move from Turney. That
move.
was absolutely no nonsense at all.
And now Ewan Wilson loses 2 places there. Both Morgan Porter and Elliot Harvey go past.
Well, there you go. That's Joe Turney getting his elbows out and really doing the business. Fantastic work there from Turney to get back into 5th position. He leads the charge behind again.
And how many have we got in this queue now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As they head underneath the Litchfield Bridge, we've got Turner, Malin, Pennell and Hughes. Cole Kilner's going along very well in 14th place. He's gained 13 places in this one.
Yep, making up some good progress. There's a few who've done likewise, actually. We've got Ganem up 5. Huang has come up 6 places. Anna Morris has come up from the back to 25th. So some good work through the...
Morgan
Porter on Turney, and so too through is Harvey.
Yeah, good move from Morgan Porter. Left it very
He
late.
changed. Second place change. That's Byatt.
Yeah.
Byatt makes the move on King.
Yep.
Byatt makes the move on King and has got Thompson right in there as well. Hodgson is a million miles ahead by comparison, so he's already got the win. But second position is like a win in this class if Hodgson's in it.
Yeah, basically, Hodgson that far ahead. He's 2.5 seconds ahead, I'd say, now as they exit the last corner. Here come the battle for second and then the battle for 5th, which is getting bigger and bigger. It goes all the way back down to, let's see if they come across the line. Goes all the way back down to Ewan Wilson, who's in 11th place.
King goes for second. King goes for second on Byatt and gets the place, and that could be Thompson through as well. Byatt gets him back again. Byatt beats the move and gets back in a second place.
Here comes
now
Derek
Thompson's
Morgan.
going to go for it. Derek Morgan is going to make the move there on the inside. Can Morgan get through?
No, he can't. So Turney further back up the inside of Elliot Harvey.
Oh, Harvey's not giving best. Turney has to slot back in and move to cover Thomas Turner on the 3 plate just in behind him and round the outside.
That's Brad Pennell.
That is Brad Pennell making the move on the 32 of Lewis Malin. What a move from Pennell.
It's a real hack, isn't it, out there?
Fantastic.
You've got to get your elbows out. You've got to make moves. There's no drivers working together whatsoever.
Warning flag for Saul Robinson. Robinson's been given a warning flag for something, not sure what. But
his race couldn't get any worse already.
Well, here they come for second position. It's Byatt, King and Morgan. Derek Morgan still pushing on at the moment.
I've got to say, Saul Robinson having spun at the first corner, what a job he's doing. He's up to 16th place. As Thomas Turner makes the move on Joe Turney there. Joe Turney fights back on the exit of the banking. So those two swapping places. And it looks like Brad Pennell has now gone past Thomas Turner.
King. Oh, nice move to cover Byatt, just holding him off.
Thomas Turner back up the inside of Brad Pennell. And who's going to take the podium? That's Lewis Malin.
That's Malin and Wilson. Malin and Wilson both getting through. So not a lot that Turner can do to retaliate. Pennell's going to get him back again on the inside. But Turner is still resisting. Not going to happen, though. Pennell is going to get through. So
it's just pure experience.
Oh, look at 72 Robinson. He puts another sweet move there, this time on Cole Kilner as he dives up the inside of the left-hander. Into the last lap we go.
He dropped all the way to 29th, Saul Robinson, so what a job he's doing. But here we go into the last lap, and Levi King trying to go past Owen Byatt into turn 1, the battle for second, underneath the Litchfield Bridge. Byatt getting on the defensive. Levi King trying to find a way through. Derek Morgan in there as well. Morgan Porter closing in now. He's only about 1 second behind. Less than that as they come off the bridge for the last time.
Levi King having a look. He wants to see where Morgan is. He's going to try a move. Is he? No, he's not. But he moves to cover Derek Morgan coming through. Morgan Porter in 5th position has a great chance. That's a late lunge into the first hairpin. Sean Butcher again making great moves as he works.
Luke Hughes.
Luke Hughes goes off over the grass as he comes together with him. And he puts his arm in the air. Come on, you ran me out of road.
Yeah, that could be a front fairing penalty going the way of Luke Hughes for... Well, not really his fault as well.
Oh dear. Well, out of the final turn, we've got a race victor coming home. He's looked absolutely invincible all weekend. He continues his march. Oliver Hodgson wins again. Terrific run. In second place, though, it is going to be Byatt. Byatt wins second place from King. Morgan Porter, Elliot Harvey and Joe Turney in 7th from Malin, Pennell and Turner. And then we have Ewan Wilson from Rory Hudson, Luke Hughes, Saul Robinson, then Jackson, Brown, Ganem, Armstrong and Huang, with Cole Kilner in the top 20 in the end. From Richard Morris, Anna Morris, Henry Laws lost out on the last lap there. Don't know what happened to Laws. Now, has there been an incident up at the far end of the circuit?
Yes, is he?
Oh, no, Laws is off there. He's up at the top. Yeah. So Laws is up at the bridge. So Henry Laws, I think, out of the race on the final lap in an incident on the Litchfield Bridge. Whether that's on the approach to it or whether that's off at turn 4 is unclear because he's moving his car.
I'd say the latter, personally.
Yeah, it's probably off at turn 4, isn't it? So problems there for Laws. He went off on the last lap. So outside the top 20, it was Richard, then Anna Morris, Paul Stewart, Kieran Long, Jake Douglas, Reese Ushijima, Josh Thompson-White and Sky Siddle. And that is all she wrote for that one. But very exciting stuff and very tense. We're about... I'd say about 6 minutes and a half, 7 minutes behind schedule as a result of the earlier delay. So we're cracking straight on with the Junior X30 to make up the time. But what an amazing run for Oliver Hodgson. That man just cannot be beaten today thus far.
No, he's been on absolute fire. You say today, all weekend, isn't it? It's been unstoppable for Oliver Hodgson. And his dominance in the race continues. But, well, we've still got final 2 to go later on. There'll be... due to be out on track later, about 40 minutes past 2. But next up is going to be Junior X30, final 1. Now, let's look at the grid for this one. On pole position is Axel Laflamme. Axel Laflamme has had a brilliant weekend so far. Qualified 7th place on Friday afternoon. Won the first heat, second in his second heat, 67 points so far for him, and that was good enough for pole position. Alongside him on the front row is going to be Joseph Taylor. Taylor's had a second and a third. Clayton Ravenscroft, third in last year's championship. Reggie Dewey on row 2. Luke Whitehead is on row 3, 7th in last year's championship with Dragan Pinzet, so that's a very strong row 3. Josh Rattican and Oliver Beerman on row 4. They've both moved forward pretty well from their original qualifying positions. Oliver Grays looks strong on the inside of row 5. Then we have the driver who qualified second overall on Friday, Tom Edgar. Tyler Reid and Caden McQueen are on row 6. Lewis Gilbert will be disappointed to be on row 7, having qualified 4th on Friday. He's on row 7 with Sam Heading. Then it is Alex Lay and Alex Walker on row 8. Next along on row 9, it's Tom Mills and Rufus Hunt. Shane White and Theo Edgerton from 33rd in qualifying are row 10. Alex Lloyd and Alessandro Serenetti were 3rd and 5th in qualifying respectively. Disasters for them so far. Serenetti with a brake failure in his first heat. They're going off row 11. Then it's Louis Short and Casper Stevenson, Nelson King and Ali Ackerby, Teddy Pritchard Williams and Matthew Hudson. Then the drivers through from the Rapid Charge, Lewis Thompson, Alicia Barrett. Definitely Lewis Thompson, one to watch. Dylan Cooper and Eduardo Cosseteng, and William Ellswood and Matthias Salonen. Jake Sanson, here we go for the start.
So is this going to be Laflamme or is this going to be Taylor? Let's find out, and away we go. Cracking start. Taylor's got the best jump, but there's still greasy conditions and there's still drivers firing over the top.
That's Oliver Gray. That may have gone off there.
And somehow they all get through despite the fact that Gray went over the chicane, but Laflamme is leading. So Laflamme has taken the early bath there in the lead of the race, and it looks to me as though Joe Taylor has dropped back quite a long way.
Yeah, well, Reggie Dewey's gone to second. Third is Dragan Pinzet.
5th is Taylor.
Fourth is Lewis Gilbert, I think. Then it's Clayton Ravenscroft, sorry. 5th place is Joseph Taylor, as you said. Then it's Tom Edgar. Then it's Luke Whitehead. Then it's Josh Rattican. Then it's Oliver Gray, my apologies. So it may have been Sam Heading who went over the grass. Then it's Oliver Behrman who challenges Oliver Gray into the chicane. Oliver Behrman up another place.
I was just watching the midfield battle. There was a lot of jostling for position. Alex Walker chopping the nose across of Lewis Gilbert in the middle of the battle there, and that was getting very nasty and very spicy. A lot of drivers clattering into the back of other drivers through the hairpins, though. There could be a few front fairing penalties to take into account at the end of this one.
Always is.
Well, Laflamme leads the way. Dewey in second, Pinson third, Ravenscroft fourth, and Taylor
Dewey for the lead. Dewey for the race lead. Underneath the Litchfield Bridge, takes the lead at the start of this second lap. Behind that, Clayton Ravenscroft's gone to third.
Well, Alan Taddy, I did say pre-season that it's Reggie Dewey for the title. Laflamme was very disappointed at his decision, but now Laflamme's going to try and get Dewey back again into the first hairpin, and Ravenscroft goes with him. That's brilliant. Ravenscroft is now going to go for the lead straight away up to the first position, and Reggie Dewey's going to try and get the move done as well. Laflamme will not answer to it. Pinson's going to try and come through. Dewey, his bumper's looking loose as he gets a little bit of a nudge there from Pinson. I think Dewey's bumper got a little bit wayward there. If he's not careful, we got 3 or 4 cars off together in the chicane after the second hairpin.
I have a feeling that may have been, was that Serenetti who went off?
Serenetti again, that would be a disaster if it was.
We'll have a look who comes through.
Serenetti's come through.
It's Casper Stevenson, his teammate, I think, Lewis Thompson.
Ackerby.
And William Ellswood.
Yeah, Ackerby was involved in that.
Stevenson,
Stevenson.
Yeah.
So Short dropped back a long way.
Right, over the bridge, there's going to be a move at least being made, and there is. It's Dragan Pinzit making a move, or defending 4th place from Joseph Taylor. Here comes Luke Whitehead down the inside of the pair of them.
Taylor got away from it, but Whitehead has definitely made a move or two in the process. Dewey and all of that has come back through to the lead on Ravenscroft.
And just behind that, there was a Fusion driver on Cole's driver. That was Edgar, I think, passing Rattigan. So Tom Edgar looking very feisty in the first few laps here. Theo Edgerton is on the move, big style. He's up to 12th place from 20th on the grid. As the leaders, they couldn't be any closer heading through the last couple of corners, and as we are about to complete lap number 3.
Warning flag for Ellswood further back, but yes, the leading 3 are absolutely in unison. Dewey, Ravenscroft and the 47 of Laflamme, and it could be between these 3 that get the victory battle done. But yes, as Pinson was giving Dewey some assistance on the run to that first...
Change for lead.
Oh yes, on the inside.
Ravenscroft
takes the lead, and Laflamme's going to try and get through as well, and Reggie Dewey...
contact!
There's contact! And through in a second place is going to come Dragan Pinson!
Yeah, Laflamme's dropping down. Taylor's gone through the 3rd. Whitehead trying to go through the 4th place, but Reggie Dewey's going to try and go round the outside here. So Whitehead and Dewey side by side down towards hairpin 2.
Desperately trying to get himself back up the order, and it's given a few drivers a bit of an opportunity. Behrman's up a few places.
Yeah, Alex Walker's in the number 12 there. He's gained a couple of places.
22 has done likewise. Laflamme desperately trying to get past Behrman, ends up putting both of them on the curb, and they've got someone hassling them as they come round as well. This has all gone terribly wrong for Laflamme. It's gone fairly badly wrong for Joe Taylor, but Reggie Dewey and Clayton Ravenscroft are left to battle out in front, but Ravenscroft has got clear.
No, it's just Ravenscroft's checked out. It was Reggie Dewey who went for the move on Laflamme, and the pair of them delayed on the exit. So
Dewey down to 5th now. Yeah. Taylor up to 3rd. Dragan Pinson is 2nd. Whitehead is all of a sudden now in 4th place.
Yeah, he's come up the order, hasn't he? That's one of the that was Oliver Gray trying to make a move, I think, on Tom Edgar. As Reggie Dewey loses another place. Josh Rattigan now going by. So Rattigan up into 5th place, will represent Great Britain at the CIK Academy this year. And Rattigan after that horrific...
contact! Serenetti got driven into by Laflamme. Laflamme is on the grass trying to get the cart slowed down. Laflamme manages to get back on, but he's rejoined behind the 11 of Rufus Hunt.
It's all going wrong for him.
Now he loses another place.
Edgerton, is it?
Edgerton's gone by. This is a disaster for Axel Laflamme. What a shame. He had the chance to go for the win. He had the ability, no question about that, but it just went wrong in the move with him and Reggie Dewey. 2 rivals coming together, and Ravenscroft is through scot clear. Shane White, meanwhile, gets the warning flag from the officials, but it's Pinson now in 2nd, getting away from Joe Taylor.
New fastest lap from Joseph Taylor. So it's Ravenscroft clear by 1.5 seconds, then it's Pinzit, Taylor, Whitehead, Rattigan, Dewey, the chasing pack, then a gap back to it's no longer Tom Edgar, it's actually Alex Walker leading that chasing pack from Tom Edgar. Then it's Ed.
Oh, Dewey's made the move on Radican. Dewey makes the move on Radican into the first hairpin and signals with Radican, come on, let's go get them. And it looks to me as though Radican is responding.
Oh, further back. Oh, here comes Oliver Beerman up the inside of both. I think that's Oliver Gray and Tyler Reid. In the 22 is Tyler Reid, so Beerman's going to get one place. That puts him into 10th. So the Thule drivers too busy fighting with each other, and that's allowed Oliver Beerman, the Fusion driver, to go through. So
warning flag for a very frustrated Lewis Gilbert as well in the middle of the mix. He should be up amongst these guys, but it's really not been the greatest of weekends from his point of view.
Yeah, pre-season form would suggest that, but here we go. Watch Joseph Taylor. He's got a good run here on Dragon Pinzit. Are they going to be trying to work together to try and catch down Ravenscroft? Credit to Ravenscroft. He's actually extending his lead out front at the moment.
Do you know what? At the moment, Ravenscroft is reminding me of a young Nigel Mansell. He's just got so much tigerishness to his racing.
Here comes Joseph Taylor. Don't forget, he was pole on Friday, and there he goes into second place.
Lovely move from Taylor. Dragan Pinson is going to have to work with him if they want to catch Ravenscroft.
He's going to have to, yeah. And look at Reggie Dewey. He's closing Luke Whitehead here. And he's taken with him Josh Ratican, Alex Walker's there, Tom Edgar's there as well.
Every time there's a good scrap, you know that Ratican's going to be involved in it. He's there in 6th position. He always manages to get himself into the right place at the right time, Josh Ratican. You cannot rule him out in this 2018 British
and a spin through the chicane. We've got a bit of carnage.
2 karts going over, one going over the grass and one dropping to the back of the field. I didn't see who that was.
We'll pick that up.
We're about to find out.
Yeah. I think Lewis Gilbert was involved in that somehow, maybe.
But Lewis Gilbert's come through in a lower position.
It was Louis Short.
Louis Short
was the one who
what a shame. The Italian has obviously had a bit of a difficulty there. But Ravenscroft leads the way. Joe Taylor in second place under some intense pressure from Vincent. Dewey is there as well.
He's been passed by Josh Ratican on this lap. So Ratican is up to 5th place.
Watch for Whitehead actually in 4th position. He's going to try and get one over on Pinsent if he gets held up by Taylor. So now Whitehead just checking out what's going on around him with Ratican and Dewey. Dewey goes to the inside of Ratican and through into 5th position. Ratican comes straight out. He's going to get back on the inside. Stop fighting with me, says Reggie. No, says Josh. I'm going to try and catch them.
Yeah, well, they're not doing each other any favours,
are they? Oh, a bit of a clattering in the chicane. That's the 22 they're getting in the mix. Tyler Reid. I think he got a little bit of a squabble in there with Alex Lloyd and Alessandro Sananetti. So things got a little bit heated. It's a warning flag for Alicia Barrett on that lap. And a yellow flag. We've got 2 off down the back again.
Yeah. Well,
it's getting very messy.
Lewis Thompson's doing well through from the B final. He's up 14 places into 15th at the moment. So good job from him so far. And he's not too far behind Serenetti. So we'll keep an eye on his progress as over the bridge. Do we see any changes? I think Luke Whitehead has ran out of patience here. And I think he's going to go past Dragan Pinzit. Here comes Luke Whitehead in the 7 into 3rd place. So Whitehead makes his first big move in this chasing pack. Next for him will be Joseph Taylor, but Dragan Pinzit fights back. Good move that from the number 4 to go back into 3rd place. I think the guys in this chasing group know, Jake, that Ravenscroft is just simply too far ahead. He's nearly 2 seconds ahead.
Yep, Ravenscroft has the win in his back pocket now. I think it was...
and Whitehead's back through to 3rd, sorry.
Whitehead, good move there. I was going to say that.
Caught me out.
I was going to say the previous lap when we saw those 2 karts clattering off of the chicane, it looks like it was Casper Stevenson and Teddy Pritchard-Williams that fell back on the order there. So those 2...
Stevenson's second incident of the race, isn't it?
Well, those 2 clattered together. The second place battle is effectively a charge for the win, isn't it, with Ravenscroft way out in front. So Ravenscroft...
Whitehead's got some good pace now, and he's going to go into second.
Good move. And there's a yellow flag. We've got a spin underneath the Litchfield Bridge.
Yep.
Somehow he gets going again before anybody clatters into him.
We'll pick that up, but Whitehead into second. Taylor. Oh, and Taylor's going to fight back, is he? Into the first hairpin. I think Whitehead just about covered it off. But how many have we got in this queue, Jake? It goes all the way back down to Shane White, I think, in 18th place.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. 17th in the battle.
Reggie Dewey on the grass. Wide. That's Josh Ratican going into 5th.
Ratican up to 5th, past both of them. Dewey caught out. What a move from Ratican. He really saw that one coming beautifully.
Alex Walker's in 6th place, I think, in all of that. And that's a
stupendous move from Ratican. He really pulled that one out of the block. So Ravenscroft leading. Second is Joe Taylor still. It's Whitehead now. My apologies. Whitehead with that amazing move into turn 4. And he's got clear. Look at that. He's actually got distance between Taylor and Pinson.
And Pinzit, what's he going to do now? Is he going to fight with Taylor or is he going to work with Taylor? If he wants second, he's going to have to work with him.
He's going to go for it. Pinson's through on Taylor. And that was a good overtaking move, to be fair. He made the move stick. Taylor's now going to come back at him. He wants 3rd position. Fifth place, Ratican could just watch these two fight it out. Taylor goes for the move. Ratican gets in there as well. Super.
Chaos, and it's chaos behind. And there's an instant. Yeah.
Thompson over the top of one of the cars. Behrman.
Yeah, it's Behrman. He's gone over the top.
Thompson and Behrman. Thompson signalling back to the pits. Did you see what he did?
Oh, and Serenetti up the inside of Dewey into the chicane.
What a move from Serenetti. That was majestic. Oh, superb.
That's put him into the top 10.
Yep.
It's actually put him into 7th place.
Is that 7th place for Serenetti?
It's 6th place.
6th position. Where on earth has he brought that back?
He started the lap in 10th.
Serenetti, no wonder he's the English champion. He's
and here
now
goes
in the top
Ratican
6.
for 3rd.
Ratican makes the move for 3rd on Taylor. And Serenetti, I'm not sure he's done yet. He's dropping Dewey.
I'll tell you what, Ratican could catch Whitehead here. He's absolutely flying.
Well, we did say Ratican was one to watch. If he can close up on Whitehead, there might be a charge on for 2nd. He could get some cooperation from Taylor and Pinson, but we are running out of time. There's 36 seconds on the clock. This is the penultimate lap, and they will all know it.
Oh, and Reggie Dewey having to seriously defend from Tom Edgar. Caden McQueen has now joined that battle as well. He's not had the best of luck this weekend, Caden, but he's now right in this queue, and he's going to go for a switchback move on Tom Edgar as Alex Lloyd behind that.
Lovely.
Having to fend off Tyler Reid and Shane White.
Lovely move. Nothing wrong with that from McQueen. Beautifully done.
Yeah, Shane White's made good progress. He's up 6 places. Alex Lloyd up 9 places. Mateus Salonen up 14 places. So some real big charges in this one. No one has moved further forward, though, than Serenetti, who's gained 16 places as we start the last lap.
Last lap, here we go. That was a close one on the timer, but it's going to be tough.
Ratican defending. Serenetti's joined this queue.
Serenetti's at the back of those 4. Ratican goes straight to the inside, but round the outside. Look at Taylor. Taylor's going to keep it coming. Serenetti's going for 4th position. Serenetti's 4th. How did he do that? And Taylor's been shunted back to 6th position. Now he's got crowding out from Walker.
Alex Walker, sorry.
McQueen up the inside of Dewey as well. Yeah. Serenetti, after all of that, finds himself at the back of Pinson. How did he do that?
He could take 3rd place. He went round the inside of all, went round the outside of all of them. Behind that, though, you've got Taylor, Walker, Dewey, McQueen. Then you've got Edgar and Lloyd. Then it's Tyler Reid, Shane White. Behind Shane White, I think it's Rufus Hunt. Then it's Axel Laflamme, who once led this race, but 1 corner to go now, Jake.
Clayton, I think you ran away and hid at exactly the right moment, mate. It's a brilliant victory for Ravenscroft, and he'll start the 2nd final, in pole position. A win for Ravenscroft, 2nd for Whitehead, 3rd place for Pinson, and then Serenetti in 4th place.
18 places.
18 places. What a drive from Serenetti. He is not the English champion by accident. That was mighty. A mighty race.
4th at the World Finals as well, Serenetti.
Ratican, another fantastic and valiant effort there in the top 5 as well. Beautiful driving from Ratican. Just caught out in the wrong places to make the move for the top 3. How about that, though? We said it was either going to be Reggie Dewey or Axel Laflamme to win this one. Alex Lloyd down at the very back. Final sector. Something happened in the final sector for Lloyd.
Yeah, through the final sector. So Tyler Reid also come off as well.
So Lloyd and Reid right down at the back. I wonder if it was those two that tagged together because they were quite close to each other on track.
Yeah, they may have done.
What a shame for those two, but wow, what a race.
That was a real good one.
Astonishing. I mean, if you look just outside the top 5, nothing is the same as it was at the start. You've got Taylor in 6th, Walker, Dewey 8th position, Caden McQueen up into the top 10, Tom Edgar in 10th, then you've got Shane White, Rufus Hunt, Axel Laflamme, devastated to be down in 13th, no doubt, Oliver Gray 14th from Alex Lay, Nelson King, Lewis Thompson, Matthias Salonen in the top 20, then Tom Mills, Ali Ackerby rounding out the top 20, then you've got some big names outside the top 20, you've got Behrman, you've got Gilbert, Heading Cossetane, Barrett, Edgerton. That was incredibly intense. Barrett is there in 25th, and then you have Edgerton, and then the rest of the field, Lloyd and Tyler Reid getting caught up on the last lap as well. That race had everything.
Yeah, that was a real cracker, that one. And
race of the weekend so far for me.
One of them, yeah, definitely one of them. Give the Junior Rotax first heat a run for its money. But a good drive from Ravenscroft. Likewise, Whitehead to get 2nd place.
Great drive from Whitehead.
Those two comfortable in the end. It was Ratican, wasn't it? next along.
The three most impressive from that one. Obviously, you've got to look at Ravenscroft. Whitehead was strong. Serenetti was unbelievable. Ratican, very, very strong. Really, really good drivers there. Whitehead doing a great job in second place. Good to see him really come of age in that particular race as well. But now we move on to the Army Cadet, where we've got a similar intensive battle. The top three drivers, easily the three favourites coming into the season.
Top four,
yes. Arvid Lindblad, Max Dodds, Freddie Slater and Will McIntyre. Easily those four, you could say, on paper they are the favourites for this championship, and they happen to be on the first two rows of the grid. It's a great start.
Yeah, and then you've got the hard chargers in the likes of Harley Horton, Brandon Carr, Aidan Neat and Harley Keeble, having joined Oliver Ronan Motorsport, has had a turn of pace this year as well. Vinnie Phillips, of course, Super Nationals champion, they're on row 5. Maximus Hall was quick yesterday. Then we have just outside of the... we'll have a look at some of the results. We'll pull up some of the results of yesterday. But as we said, Vinnie Phillips, Maximus Hall qualified 5th yesterday and had some really strong results. Leo Robinson and... Ashton Hodgson on row 6. Luke Watts struggling at the moment, just running overweight this weekend. He's on row 7 with Max Barrow. Then it's Oliver Wright and Bar Harrison. Sam Short, the one to watch perhaps, the seeded driver, the number 9 on row 9 with Harry Jr. Burgoyne, especially as he's looked super quick in the winter, Sam Shaw. Monday Jr. Canini and Charlie Rippin, row 10. Then it's Kai Bacchini and Ellis Stevens, Hadi Mamasi and Ian Aguilera, row 12. Benjamin Doty and Elu Robinson, row 13. Archie Clark and Luke Sintler, row 14. Jack Younger and Jacob Baldry, row 15.
30 fantastic drivers there, and it is going to be a very close season. There's going to be a lot of surprises through the field. We've got to take an eye on an awful lot of very talented racers, some of whom are club champions, some of whom are Bambino stars, others have won other national championships before coming into the Super 1 series, the big daddy of them all, of course. Army Cadet, one of the most competitive championships in British karting, and everyone who wants to get up at the front of this one will be out to do so very much from the start. And the thing is... weather in the air is going to be a bit greasy as well. I'm not sure what the weather is currently doing. Are we a little bit wet? There is a little bit of rain in the air. Yes, it is drizzling a little bit.
That's a nervous nod, that, from Dan Ashton.
Yeah, he's not liking the way this is going at all. But yes, there's definitely drizzle. And
speaking of what you said in Army Cadet, all you have to look at is Harry Thompson. Won it a couple of years ago, now with the Red Bull Juniors.
Very good point, and very well made too. Lindblad, Dodds, Slater and McIntyre on the first two rows with Horton, Carr, Neat, Keeble, Phillips and Hall in chase. Let's do it. Oh, too fast. So they're going to do another go at it.
Someone spun. No,
that'll be why. That is one of the Fusion drivers. I wonder.
Vinnie Phillips, is that, or Leo Robinson, or both? Yeah,
both of them had an incident there, so it's Vinnie Phillips that's facing the wrong way.
And Nigel Edwards just probably sent that one back round to allow this to get back into place.
Well, the thing is as well, because of course we've got those two having gone off, but you've got to remember that with the wet, greasy conditions coming down now...
Well, Vinnie Phillips is going to be sent through, as you can see. It's probably going to be sent through the cut-through.
Yes.
There comes one of the marshals to say, through the cut-through, please. And that is a good job there from the... Oh, no, he got all confused, and the... Vinnie Phillips did not go through the cut-through.
Well, that's going to hold things up a little bit.
Maybe they'll get sent round one more time. But it's not a bad thing if the conditions are as they are.
And they're getting worse, actually, because the rain is coming down. It's not heavy rain. I should point that out. It's not heavy rain, but what it is it's consistent rain, and it's just little bits of drizzle that are collecting around the circuit. So a bit of a mistake there from Vinnie Phillips. The thing is, I don't think he's ever spun off on a formation lap before.
We say a mistake, but... it's one of those things. These are the youngest drivers out there. It's probably easy to do. You see the cones blocking the track, and you probably just didn't want to take the risk and going straight through one of the cones. But that's okay. I wonder if they're going to send them round one more time here to give time for Vinny to catch up.
Well, no, it looks as though they're going to go racing, I think, this time. They're just going to ease them in, and we're going to go racing this time. Yes, we're racing. So Lindblad gets a good start. Immediately Slater comes in. Dodds has clattered in together with Harley Horton. They managed to get away from that without too much damage, and their races are not compromised. But out in front it is Lindblad. Dodds is having to battle for the top 4 at the moment. So Dodds is holding back a little, slipped back a little bit.
Slater second, isn't it?
Where is Dodds?
Third place. Dodds is all the way down in about
Sixth place. Sixth place. He's in there with Maximus Hall, the Gladiator, has again charged forward.
Yeah, third place. Let's see who that is. That is that Harley Horton?
That is Horton, yes, up to third place.
Then it is McIntyre briefly as Harley Keeble goes through to fourth place and make that third place.
Mistake from Horton. He's going to have to need a good drive off the turn. He has saved third position for the moment.
So then it's Keeble in fourth, fifth is Dodds, sixth is McIntyre, then it's Hall, and then I think behind that is it Brandon Carr?
Yeah, it is. I tell you what, who's moving through the field pretty rapidly is Luke Watts. Luke Watts, the 10, he's going pretty quickly.
He's running overweight, so this for him will be suiting him, definitely.
Yeah, he should be able to make up progress pretty fast, Luke Watts.
4 kilos over.
Well, in these greasy conditions, then Luke Watts is definitely going to be the man to watch. This could be his first podium of the season. If he keeps it going, sorry.
Who was that took over the mic for a second?
I'm not sure there. Apologies there. Got a little bit excited. Anyway, Watts losing the place into the first corner to Brandon Carr. Up on the top half of the second. Now, it looks as though the yellows are being prepared. Is the weather getting worse, or is there, well, green flags? I think there might have been an incident at the first corner.
Yeah, perhaps.
So Vinnie Phillips was the fastest of all in the first sector that time around, but ends up, that's because, of course, he was on his own trying to catch up with the rest of the field.
William McIntyre passed Maximus Hall into the first hairpin.
They've got to be so careful in these conditions because the rain
someone's got a problem there. Now that looks Ashton Hodgson, I think, is got a problem. He's really struggling. He's just lost a place to Sam Shaw at that first hairpin, and he's pointing at something. Ashton Hodgson in that 24, not happy at all.
Well, he seems to have got back up to speed again in behind...
Sam Shaw, definitely the one to watch. He's not. He's up 9 places into 8.
Yeah, Shaw's going through the field like scissors through wet newspaper right now. He's absolutely charging forward. Lindblad and Slater have got away and clear at the front of this field. Third position is still Harley Keeble running very well in the 12, but this is going to be a long race for these guys. 9.5 minutes, and if the rain keeps coming down, it's going to be about who holds their nerve.
Freddie Slater is absolutely reeling in Arvid Lindblad. 3/10 he took out of his lead last time, and that's brought the gap down to half a second. So Freddie Slater very comfortable at the moment, closing in on Arvid Lindblad. Then it's a 2.5 second gap back to Harley Keeble in third place. Fourth place is Harley Horton. Then it's Maxwell Dodds in fifth.
It's not as hectic a swabble as it's been in the past, but every driver here knows that in these conditions you've got to be very, very careful. You have to be patient, you have to be calm. You cannot push the cart too hard. You just have to let the corners come to you one at a time and try and make up the progress you can. Lindblad, Freddie Slater on the O-plate second. Keeble third from Horton and Max Dodds. Still making good progress, Max Dodds, charging hard. He is actually the second fastest in the first split on that lap. So Dodds is making up good progress. Then McIntyre, Hall, Shaw, Hodgson, Carr, Watts, Neat, Wright, Barrow, Burgoyne, Harrison, Rippin, Robinson, Sintler, Bacchini, Aguilera, Doughty, Stevens, Mimasi, Younger, Clark, Robinson, Baldry, Phillips and Canini. So MJ Canini seems to have been the one who got caught out there on that last tour and finds himself, he's made up a place, so he's getting there. Oh, now look, Slater has caught right up to the back of Lindblad. He's on a 1:16.45. He was nearly half a second quicker on that last lap, and Slater is now trying to push Lindblad further away so they can absolutely dominate this race.
Yeah, well, I think he's going to go past, isn't he, surely? Maxwell Dodds is quickest on track. He's trying to close in... Harley Keeble
he's made the move on Horton, so Dodds, the fastest man on the track, is going to make mincemeat of Keeble at this current pace. He should be on him in about 3 laps at this sort of pace because he's about 4/10 of a second quicker.
Yeah, he's 4/10, as you said there. Then behind Dodds, it is Harley Horton and William McIntyre. Then Sam Shaw now, who's
Shaw has come up past Maximus Hall. This is a great drive for Sam Shaw. Doing an absolutely beautiful job.
Oh,
look at the nudge there. That is a 24, Ashton Hodgson, making the move on Maximus Hall, and it looks as though Watts can get through here with some assistance from Brandon Carr, who goes through as well.
That's 2 places for Luke on that lap.
Oh, it's a real shame for Maximus Hall. Not really something he can go for, but Brandon Carr's going to make the move on Watts in the process. He makes the move in Bobby Game corner.
That's a good move, that. So that's going to put him up. One more place.
Here comes Slater side by side with Lindblad. Here he comes, and Slater's going to take the lead over the line. Beautifully done. So Slater leads Lindblad.
New fastest lap for Harley Keeble, by the way, in third place. 1:15.28. So We said Maxwell Dodds was going to catch and go past him, but he's actually the one reeling in the leaders now.
Yeah, he's responded to the fact that Dodds is catching him. He knows that Max Dodds is going to be a championship favourite this year. He wants to get some points on him, and he's going to try and disappear away from him. But he can also see that Slater has dealt with Arvid Lindblad, so maybe there's a chance of second position if Lindblad doesn't have the pace to run at the front.
This is great to see from the driver who finished 38th in the championship last year.
Superb, isn't it?
Having only done 2 rounds, Harley Keeble is now battling with both the British Open champion and the reigning vice champion.
It's a real bit of
It's
a
not
sensation.
bad.
Oh, that's
Not bad.
amazing. I mean, that's a real coming-of-age moment, this, for Harley Keeble, running up the front. We love spotting these guys when they really put on a big of a show.
Oh, someone's off. That's William McIntyre,
That
I
is
think.
William McIntyre. Oh, disaster.
I think he'd just gone past Harley Horton, but he gives the place back to Horton. So
He gets back on, so
yeah.
not too much position, not too many positions lost.
He's managed to hold on to the position, actually.
Really? That's very
yes, he
impressive.
has, yeah.
That is absolutely amazing for McIntyre. So, yeah, he is there.
Whoa, that time, Harley Keeble.
1:39.
He's a second and a half quicker than the leaders, Harley Keeble.
My
The number
goodness.
12 coming over the bridge now is absolutely flying, closing in on the leaders 1.5 seconds quicker than them. The gap has been brought down to 1.7 seconds.
Well, that's Arvid Lindblad's teammate, don't forget, but Oliver Rowland would not have taken on a driver who didn't have a massive amount of talent behind him.
Due to be here as well,
Do you know
actually.
what? I think Harley Keeble
Yellow
is
flag.
the new sensation.
Yellow flag at turn what? Well, there was briefly a yellow flag out underneath the bridge. We'll keep an eye out and see if there's anyone particularly slow through the first split.
I think it's Ashton Hodgson. Hodgson was very slow through the first split, so
Yes,
he has
it
come
is.
through, but he's going to have lost 10th position without any
At
shadow
the
of
very
doubt.
least, yeah, he's going to drop. Oh, he's going to be dropping at least down to about 15th place.
Yeah, he's
I
lost about
reckon.
8 seconds. A warning flag has gone out to the 72. That is Ian Aguilera down in 29th. So obviously the battle in the lower positions getting quite hectic. A few drivers making up some moves.
Now, Ashton Hodgson was battling away with Aidan Neat, so something had gone on there, clearly.
Well, let's pick up a few of the drivers who have made amazing progress. We've got Sam Shaw up in 7th place, of course. Harry Jr., Burgoyne, is up to 13th place now, having made up 5 places. Luke Sintler's on a really good run. From 28th on the grid, he's up to 18th now. So Sintler's going very well in these conditions. So, yeah, there's the confirmation. Hodgson dropping back down into 16th position, I think it is. No, even further than that, 17th in the end, just in front of Sintler, Bacchini and Vinnie Phillips, who's having a nightmare race. Good progress from Archie Clark. He's made up 5 places because Hadi Mamassi's dropped back down. MJ Canini is making good progress, having dropped back to the tail end of the field. He's now made up 6 or 7 places as well. So the South African is coming back into it as quickly as he possibly can. But Freddie Slater leading the way from Arvid Lindblad. Look behind you, fellas. You've got Harley Keeble hot on your tail, and he is faster.
Luke Watts has passed Sam Shaw and Harley Horton on this lap. And it looks as if last time around Maxwell Dodds was actually the quickest on track. So 1:13.79 for Maxwell Dodds. That's a new fastest lap for him. As the
Oh,
leaders.
a bit of a contact at the back there into the second hairpin. That was the 72 of Aguilera making the move on the Canadian Hadi Mamassi into the first hairpin and almost took Mamassi clean off the racetrack.
Looks as if the two leaders are starting to re-establish themselves as the clear leaders in this race now.
Yeah, it's these three, isn't it? Keeble is still trying to find a bit of time on Slater and Lindblad.
He's starting to drop away now, Keeble.
I think they've realised how fast he was coming on to him, and then Lindblad said, right, enough of this, I'm going to jog on.
And the conditions perhaps changing, and it's just every lap is different. But I think we've got this Luke Watts catching William McIntyre, but behind that, this three-way battle between Sam Shaw, Harley Horton and Brandon Carr. I think those three are the ones to watch at the moment. We'll keep an eye on that little battle because we could see some changes there very shortly.
Yeah, rain is definitely still coming down. Again, it's not heavy, but it is very greasy as it falls onto the circuit. So that is going to be where it's going to cost them an awful lot of time. Vinnie Phillips has just made the move on Luke Sintler to move up another position. So Phillips now moving up into what is that 18th position. Here come the leaders down the straight once again with just under 2 minutes to go. Slater still hanging on from Lindblad. That is a very good lap from Slater to keep the pace. Lindblad slightly quicker.
Yeah,
Keeble not able to stay in touch. Dodds falling off the pace a little bit. McIntyre consistently in front of Luke Watts, although Watts is closing him down big style. We said that Watts being slightly overweight compared to the others is definitely going to help, and he's there in the top 6.
Yeah, it is going to help him, that's for sure. No one's really able to get a huge consistency at the moment, bar the 2 leaders.
The thing is, the water is still coming down onto the circuit as there's a warning flag for Vinnie Phillips. So
he's done well, actually, isn't he? He's into 18th place.
Phillips has fought back beautifully, to be fair, and he's doing great. Oh, that's a move from Shaw.
That's Watts. That's Watts. Oh, and there's contact from Watts on the exit. McIntyre looking over his shoulder.
As if to say, well, what? You lost it, mate. It's not my problem. So McIntyre gets him back. Watts obviously dived down the inside. It was quite late, and he manages to catch him back. But he's still right on the tail of him once again. Back over the curbs. Oh, a little bit of a mistake from McIntyre, and Watts, he's going to try again. McIntyre chops straight across. Tell you what, there's a nice little rivalry between these two cooking up. But as they come down onto the main straight once again, Slater and Lindblad still controlling the pace. 40 seconds to go.
New fastest lap from Slater just when he needed to do it, just to give himself a half a second advantage with 2 laps to go.
Well, I think the rain has eased off a little bit now, so the circuit will dry out a little bit more as the race continues.
Top 3 all doing personal best laps that time.
Dodds struggling a little bit to stay with that pace, but still a long way in front of McIntyre and Watts.
Behind, here we go, round 2 between Watts and McIntyre across the bridge.
I reckon this is going to be hairpin 1. Hairpin 1 it's going to be. Here we go again. McIntyre just watching behind to see where Watts is. Watts isn't going to be phased. Is he going to try the same move? Look, he's spooked McIntyre. McIntyre's looking all over the place trying to find a way through. And Watts is not actually having to do that much hard work to phase him out. Look, McIntyre's still looking back. Stop focusing on him. You've got to move up the road to try and catch after Dodds. But McIntyre is really struggling to hold him at bay at the moment.
Here behind Brandon Carr trying to line up Harley Horton. Then we got Aidan Neat battling away there with the 68 is out of Harry Jr. Burgoyne.
And Maximus Hall and Oliver Wright.
Well, hasn't he? Harry Jr. Burgoyne up 7 places.
And then in the 12th and 13th, we've got 93 and 11. The Gladiator and the Pineapple. We've got Maximus Hall and Oliver Wright. So it's going to be a really interesting...
That's a very interesting pairing.
That's a book, isn't it?
Change the lead.
Yes, Lindblad's got through on the penultimate lap. We go into the last lap, and Lindblad has got through into the lead. So this is an interesting one.
Right, here we go then.
Battle is on. Slater's going to try and come back at him. Into 4. No move there. Into 5. Not close enough. Set him up for the first hairpin, and you might be on for something, Freddie. Down the back straight.
Yep, into the first hairpin for the last time. Freddie Slater's done all the hard work to lead this race, but right at the end he seems to have lost it from... Arvid Lindblad, but does he have enough time to try and fight back? Arvid Lindblad doing the right thing, not defending as they go into the second hairpin. Freddie Slater quickly running out of time, but he's got a good run.
Slater's
down into the chicane.
So good.
Did he make the move? Oh, here we go. Contact.
He's committed to it, but Lindblad is held fast. He's not going to let him through. Now he's going to have another crack in a Bobby Game corner. He knows the maximum points are available. Lindblad defends to the inside. Can Slater cut back through into the Mike Wilson complex? No, Lindblad holds it fast. Brilliant work so far from the two of them, but Slater's still there as they come onto the final left-hander. He might be able to out-sprint him to the flag if he gets the final turn just right. He's going for it. They're going to come to the line, but Lindblad is going to get there in time. Lindblad will win it from Slater. Third place, Harley Keeble. Welcome to Super 1. Keeble with a new fastest lap of a 1:12.39. That is awesome. Astonishing lap from Keeble. I think he's a serious contender now. Dodds in 4th, Watts in 5th, McIntyre 6th from Shaw, Carr, Horton, and Aidan Neat rounds out the top 10. Beautiful drives from Keeble and Shaw in particular. Well done as well to Luke Watts up there in the top 5. Those 3, Keeble, Watts and Shaw, really came into their own in these tricky conditions. Brandon Carr 8th from Horton and Neat. Harry Jr. Burgoyne is 11th from Maximus Hall and Oliver Wright. That's what I meant when I was talking about the Gladiator and the Pineapple. That's their nicknames. It's not a new novel by Dan Brown, trust me. 14th, Ashton Hodgson, then Max Barrow and Vinnie Phillips, Leo Robinson, and then Bart Harrison, Kai Boccini, and Luke Sintler rounds out the top 20. Mondi Junior Canini in 21st from Ella Stevens, Archie Clark making up places, Charlie Rippin, then Benjamin Doughty, Ian Aguilera, Jack Younger, Harry Mamassi, Jacob Baldry, and Edu Robinson. Well, Arvid Lindblad takes first blood, but I think everybody's been wowed by the sudden speed and form of Harley Keeble in 3rd position. Started 8th, fastest lap by not just a little bit, a lot. 1:12.39. That's half a second faster than anybody else has managed.
Was he the only one in the 1:12?
There was one more. There was one more. That's Brandon Carr, but that's it. That's absolutely astonishing.
So half a second quicker than anyone, and then about a second quicker than anyone after that.
Well, if the weather stays like this, Harley Keeble has suddenly emerged as a contender for the second final victory. My goodness me, it's exciting stuff, and it just keeps getting better. So, we've got just 2 more final ones before we have our lunch break, and that is Senior Rotax and Honda Cadet. And
now,
well,
before we go anywhere, a big change, because we were talking a lot about Kieran Gifford, who came from the very back of the C final to the A final. He actually picked up a penalty in the B final.
No.
That means
he's no longer through.
As you can see there, 10
yeah, dropped
penalty,
to 11th place. What
11th.
A shame. So that promotes Lockwood.
But either way, I want to say, what a brilliant performance.
Oh yeah, you can't.
If he is still around the circuit,
you
what
can't
a drive.
knock Kieran Gifford. His drive today has been absolutely astonishing. Such a shame he picked up that penalty, but it has to be said, he deserves every bit of credit for trying to get to this point in the first place.
Yeah,
what was it for?
Front fairing.
Front fairing. What a shame. That was such a classy drive, but unfortunately, it promotes Lockwood, Devereaux, Rice, Haynes, Oliver, and Mark Ross is the man who manages to get through. So here's the grid for the Senior Rotax first final. Reese Hunter and Ben Davis on the front row, from Tommy Foster and Miles Apps, James Johnson and James Lingard, Charlie Turner and Luke Wooder, Bradley Barrett and Jack McConnell, from Spencer Barrow, Lewis Brown, Kian Sang, I should say, Michael Cheek, Joe Bleakley, Tyler Chesterton, Joe Turney, Sam White, Danny Russell, Morgan Rose, Tom Edmonds, Alexander Kirkwood, George Holbrook, Ryan Luscombe, Rob Ellis, Sam Baker, I'm still going, Ben Donkin, Paige Holden, then Jason Lockwood, Daniel Devereaux, Elliot Rice, Ethan Haynes, Luke Oliver, and Mark Ross. So that is 34 drivers in the Senior Rotax A final. Right. Awesome.
Reese Hunter unbeaten in racing terms so far. 2 wins yesterday, 2 second places, as we were talking about yesterday, for Ben Davis. Tommy Foster a win and a 4th. 2 third places for Miles Apps. James Johnson picked up a 2nd and a 4th place finish. And finally, James Lingard on the outside of row 3, a 3rd and a 4th for him yesterday. But this one wide open, Jake. Lots of big names in this. This is going to be a cracker.
I can't tell who's going to come through and win this one. There's about 15, 16 drivers who could. Here we go. It's a clean start, but the inside line definitely with the advantage.
Oh, Ben
and
Davis,
there's going to be all sorts of problems.
Ben Davis
goes
is
over the
off.
grass.
Luke
Davis
Wood is
over
off.
the grass. Wood is off. Several others off as well. The greasy, wet conditions from the previous race on the outside line, catching out the outside line, but into the lead. No problems at all for Reese Hunter. Foster, I think that is through into second position in the E-plate, clattering over the curbs on the inside.
3rd place is James Johnson. 4th place is Charlie Turner. Then it's James Lingard, Miles Apps, then Ben Davis, and then it is that Miles.
Yeah, that's his Miles
next
Apps
along.
Yeah,
there is. No,
he's 6th. Sorry, yes,
yeah,
right.
he's in about 7th place.
7th now because the 86 is flying through.
Then it's Spencer Barrow. Luke Wood is flying around the outside. I think that is.
Well, Ben Davis has made it back into the top 6, considering his little trip over the grass. That's pretty impressive stuff. Oh, we've got an off at the first hairpin. Now, who's that's gone?
That's a front bumper.
Yeah, front bumper's gone,
well, isn't it?
And that's a race over, I'm afraid.
That is. I think that's Alexander Kirk. Is that Alexander Kirkwood that may have gone?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. Paige Holden's had a very nasty first sector as well. Paige Holden went off on the first sector. So Paige Holden is a long way down the order, and I think it is Kirkwood. Yes, it's the man who got himself a nice helmet bag this morning.
Kit bag
this morning. And now out of the race. Well, scant consolation.
Miles Apps goes past Ben Davis. I think Ben Davis, that is, going in towards the first corner. So that was a change for 6th at the start of this lap.
Was that a little bit of a mistake from the leader, Reese Hunter, there over the bridge? I think he's got a bit of an issue.
I think it's just experimenting with different lines.
But it's very slippery up the top end of the circuit, of course. They're really going to struggle to get the best of it.
Spencer Barrow in that red crash helmet. He's trying to go past Miles Apps. Bradley Barrett is going in towards the first hairpin.
Look at how difficult it is for all the drivers to knit their way through that first hairpin. Very wet, very greasy. These are light carts, of course.
And Luke, that was the 54. Luke Wooder goes steaming into the second hairpin.
Missed his braking point altogether and clatters into Bradley Barrett. Somehow they managed to get away with that, but it's held up the entire field.
It's almost like his brakes just failed. He just went flying into it.
I think it just locked up, and that was the big problem. 26 is given a warning flag, so that is Lewis Brown of the KR Sport team. So Lewis Brown with a bit of a headache there to deal with.
One of 2 Lewis Browns, or
the other Lewis Brown has been eliminated, unfortunately.
Oh,
so that makes things a little less confusing. But anyway, out in front, Reese Hunter from Johnson and Turner. That's all straightforward. Lingard in fourth as well. But then it's Foster, Apps and Davis.
Right, over the bridge then they go, and Reese Hunter is extending his lead out front here. James Johnson, not much he can do at the moment, 1.35 seconds back. Then it is Charlie Turner in third place. Fourth is James Lingard, Tommy Foster fifth, Mars Apps sixth, Ben Davis seventh, Bradley Barrett eighth, then it's Luke Wooder in ninth and Kian Sang in 10th place.
Yep.
Joe Turney, I think he actually went off in the opening lap, but he's just made a position up there going past Jack McConnell, so that'll be him into 13th place. Just behind that, Morgan Rose making a place at hairpin 2. The number 7 trying to go past Joe Bleakley. Bleakley gets it back on the exit. Oh, and Danny Russell in the 29 there, cutting across two drivers. I think that was him going past Ryan Luscombe and another driver. So Danny Russell will be up to 17th, I think, as we head across the line to complete lap number 3.
I've been informed that the way to pronounce his surname is Kian Tusang. So it is Kian Tusang. But he is the leading rookie at the moment, so he's there in the top 10, looking very strong. Reese Hunter, James Johnson from Turner, Lingard, Foster, Apps, Davis, Barrett, Wooder, Tasang, Turney, Cheek and Barrow. Joe Turney, look, he's up 6 places. Here he comes again. Joe Turney, so good at this as he charges his way forward. But what has happened to the pace of Tommy Foster? Second position initially. He's clattered back to 5th position.
And he's losing
He's going to lose another place
Apps.
now. Mars Apps is going to go through. This is not the Tommy Foster we know.
No, well, not of yesterday, that's for sure. Unbeaten in senior Rotax since he stepped into the class, and not going well for him so far. Behind that, Bradley Barrett lining up a move on his Dan Holland Racing teammate
Rain coming
Ben
down
Davis.
Again. Rain coming down again at the moment. It's getting a little bit greasy, so problems for drivers as they still struggle away to get themselves a good bit of grip out of each of the turns.
That'll make our Honda Cadet drivers very nervous.
Yeah, very nervous indeed. They've got this to come, and obviously a standing start. That first corner could be a knife edge. We've got 4 wide out of the right-hander just after the double hairpin, so that's mental as they all go through together. But over the line, it's Hunter from Johnson and Turner, Lingard in 4th. It's a long way back to Apps and Foster. Then we've got Davis, Barrett desperately trying to keep Wooder at bay, and then Tasang, the leading rookie, is in there as well. Turney 11th.
No, I think there was a change. I think Kian Tasang may have tried to move, or was that in fact Luke Wooder trying to move? Luke Wooder's gone past Bradley Barrett, so Wooder has gone into 8th place.
Edmonds and Holbrook have had an incident somewhere. They've dropped right the way down the order, and problems as well for Paige Holden. So Paige Holden still trying to keep the car around the circuit at the present moment in time. Alexander Kirkwood on the sidelines there just watching on, very frustrated. But it's Hunter, Johnson, Turner, Lingard, Apps. But yes, if there's been an incident with Kian Tasang in 10th position, he may end up getting docked.
Sam White going quickly.
Oh, we got a nice moment there. That's the
Morgan
Rose and Sam White, the 2 Coles Racing teammates battling away. And Rose gets the move up the inside. So White has got to hang back and let his teammate take charge of that. Fastest in the first sector, Sam White. Fastest in the second sector, Joe Turney. Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, he's coming through very well at the moment. Mark Ross, the biggest mover of the field, he's gained 12 places, so he may have got that place due to a penalty, but he's definitely showing that he deserves his place in this final.
Oh, is that a change for second? Is that Turner through? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Turner's through in a second
Good
place
spot.
past Johnson.
Well, no, he started the lap 6/10 back, so that should be. I guess that was a mistake from Johnson, and Barrett has got back past Luke Wooder as well. Coming out the second hairpin, Barrett in the 92.
And have you seen how quickly Apps is closing in on Lingard as well? He's
absolutely flying.
He's taken 4/10 out of him in the first sector. Goodness me, he's going through the field quickly. We got an off at the first corner there, at turn 3, sorry. There's an off under the bridge. So I think that might be Paige Holden has come off there.
Disaster.
So Paige Holden's race just going from bad to worse. So the yellow flag has been withdrawn. So yes, I think it is Paige Holden who's gone off once again. Hunter leading. Turner now second from Johnson. Lingard has got Apps reeling him in. Tommy Foster, 6th position. Doesn't seem to have any pace at all. One man who does, though, is Joe Turney. New fastest lap, 1:03.53 from Turney.
And he's reeling in Bradley Barrett here. He's 4/10 a lap quicker. Oh, who's that at the top? Is that Ben Davis? Ben Davis is out the race.
Ben Davis is out.
You can see him
Yeah,
by
Ben
the
Davis is walking away. Ben Davis is out of this race. That's one of the big names in this one. What a shame for Ben Davis. Genuinely in with a shout of victory at the start of it on the front row.
Starting on the front row, second in both his heats yesterday, fourth in qualifying. That's a real shame for Ben Davis.
Yeah,
he
and
deserved a podium this weekend.
Well,
the
that's
way
going
he
to
was
set
going.
him up from the back of the grid for the second race later on, and that's really going to hurt, to be fair. He's worked so hard. He's done an amazing job this weekend, and it's all come apart at the seams. Big disaster. Big disaster.
Now, Joe Turney has gone past Bradley Barrett, I believe, judging by the sector times. Let's have a look. Yes, and Bradley Barrett's actually in a bit of trouble here. He's fallen back behind Luke Wooder and Kian Desang. So there goes Turney, now on the back of Tommy Foster. And as you can see, Barrett is now down to ninth place, having just gone back past.
Now.
He's gone back past Kian Desang, though.
Okay, so yep, that does put him into ninth place. Out in front, Reese Hunter. He's just been getting on with this, hasn't he?
Yeah, we haven't spoken anything about Reese Hunter. But
well, Turner is now starting to catch him with 3.5 minutes to go. He needs to keep the pace up because all of a sudden, that looks a little bit bigger a gap than 2 seconds. We got a yellow off again at underneath the Litchfield Bridge. We've got another off, recovering quickly. I'm going to try and pick up who it was that went off though, because looks.
Let's see. They're coming off the bridge, whoever it was.
And they'll complete the first sector. It's Sam Baker. Sam Baker that's gone off there, the 22. So a bit of a problem there for Baker as he went off and has recovered down in 31st position. But, wow. This is an interesting one
for James Lingard, by the way.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Even faster is Turney. So Turney's even faster. Johnson, Lingard, Apps and Turney is just tightening up now.
Yeah.
And this is going to be an interesting battle. Could end up going Turney's way for third.
And Turner has taken 7/10 out of the lead of Reese Hunter, who's now closing in on Paige Holden.
Reese Hunter's not done in the lead yet. They are still trying to catch him. Joe Turney, likewise, just seems to have a really neat setup bolting underneath his feet. Oh, it's going to be a move on the inside of Wooder.
That's Barrett. Barrett past Wooder, and in the background, Sam White goes past Spencer Barrow.
Nice moves, and another overtaking move
Danny
there,
Russell.
actually. Danny Russell gets the move.
That's past McConnell, I think that is. So a good move that from Danny Russell.
Great overtaking moves all through the field, and another big lunge there. Is that Mark Ross?
That's 58 Jason Lockwood.
That is Lockwood making the move on Devereaux.
Devereaux, yeah.
Well, they've been racing most of the morning, of course, as they work
their way through. We're side by side coming out the last corner. Johnson and Lingard, I think that is.
Yes, it is. Lingard's going to go through on the inside and take that third position. It's Paige Holden that's holding them at bay, and Turney's going to have to dive up the inside of Holden not to get held up. But Turney is the big winner out of that. He's just made mincemeat of that gap. A 60.64 as the circuit's coming to it. Turney is a second and a half faster than the race leader.
What tyres has he got?
I want some for my car. It's got plenty of grip. Anyway, Reese Hunter, the gap is down to 1.7.
I just watched Turney for a few corners. Watch how much speed he's carrying in. Look how late he goes onto the brakes and to the second hairpin there.
That's
takes so much time out of it.
It's like the others are on wets and he's on slicks right now. Yeah, it's amazing how much speed he's got.
You watch him next time he goes into the first hairpin. You see how much time he takes out of them under the brakes.
Yeah,
Absolutely
he's mighty in that first sector, is Joe Turney. Compared to the others, everyone else in front of him is in the 22s.
If you want a lesson on how to drive in these conditions, just watch Joe Turney for the remainder of it, because he's absolutely flying. We'll keep an eye on him for the next lap.
2 laps to go, 2 to go, and it could get very interesting at the lead.
The lead has been halved.
Yeah, half the lead is. It was 1.7. It's now 0.8 of a second up the inside.
That's Luke Wooder going past Paige Holden, I think.
Yep, to lap her. So there we go.
Right, here we go then, off the bridge. Now
look at that gap. It's only 0.8 of a second, and it's coming down all the time. Meanwhile, Lingard's got pressure from Johnson. Johnson's going to take him into the first hairpin. And look at how much time Turney's making up under brakes.
Crazy.
He's braking about 50 metres later than the others.
Crazy
this is amazing, and now Johnson's defending. Apps is going to try and make his way on the inside of Lingard. Hello, boys. Joe Turney's on the back of the queue. He could get third here.
That would be...
How on earth is he doing this?
This is like Serenetti's driving.
It is very similar, yes, absolutely. Joe Turney up 11 places to 6th, but he's not done yet. We're going to get the final lap board out now, because here comes Reese Hunter.
Reese Hunter's responded here. Either that or Turner's made a mistake.
Well, he needed to, didn't he? Turner was absolutely hammering it home. Some really good second and third sectors. The first sector particularly strong. Turney's going to have a look now.
Here we go.
Batter over the curbs at 1 and 2.
This could all go wrong, couldn't it, with these four battling away in these conditions as they head round the banking for the last time.
Turney's waiting for the hairpin. That's where he can make up 2 places. He could do that with the brakes. Here we go. Johnson defending from Lingard. Watch for Turney. Watch for Turney. He goes right. He goes left. He's going to try and get the switch back on the 14 miles apps.
I can't quite do it.
He got caught out on a wet patch there. He had to hang back, but they're still not done. Johnson hanging on from Lingard, apps and Turney. Turney's still got a chance here to at least make the top 5. We're not done yet. Through the left, through the right, up towards Bobby Game corner. I think Johnson's done enough to respond for 3rd position, but 4th is still up for grabs. But I think now it's
back,
settling.
Luke Wooder defending in the chicane.
Well, it's settling down now. The checkered flag is ready to fly, and Reese Hunter controls the pace in the end. Great work from Reese Hunter. He wins again. 2nd place for Charlie Turner. 3rd is going to be Johnson from Lingard. Oh, Turney has gone. Turney's gone. Down the order. He lost about a second in that last lap.
Well, he didn't lose any places. So
no, 6th position. He dropped off the back of the queue. 6th position as he comes across the line, the 79 Joe Turney.
Either a mistake or he literally just dropped back.
I think he just gave up. It's like, do you know what? I'm not going to get him. Just cruise across the line. He had plenty of space on Tommy Foster. What happened to Foster in that one? He had no grip at all. The E-plate dropping all the way down to 7th. Bradley Barrett in 8th. Wooder is 9th. Sam White is 10th. Then Barrow to Sang, still the leading rookie. Rose, Cheek, Danny Russell, Mark Ross, Jason Lockwood, Elliot Rice from Chesterton, McConnell, Holbrook, Ellis, Devereaux, Oliver Luscombe. Bleakley, then Edmonds, Donkin, Haynes, Baker, Brown and Page Holden. Lewis Brown is the last one home in the end after a very disappointing race to end his first weekend in the 2018 season, or certainly the first race of his weekend on the Sunday. But Davis is the most work to do in the final. He will start 31st position, and Ben Davis, well, it's a story of what might have been from his point of view. He could easily have won that one. Plenty of drivers had the opportunity to. He didn't get the best of starts from the outside row of the grid, and that's what cost him dear. Oh dear, Kirkwood trying to get his car back to the pits, minus the front bumper. He's carrying it with him, I think. But, well, a long day at the office for the tallest man in the grid, I think. What a shame, though. He had an opportunity there, and it was taken from him. So on that first lap, Kirkwood out of luck. So now it's going to be an absolutely fantastic race that follows us, and that is the Honda Cadet Final 1. So Honda Cadet Final 1, and that one is going to be a tough battle because we've got 2 drivers who are absolutely determined that they are the championship favourite.
I was just about to mention this, actually. Alfie Rigby thinks he is. Theo Mercouris thinks he is.
Yeah, Alfie Rigby thinks, I am the new champion of 2018. It's already a done deal. Theo Mercouris is like, I don't think so, mate. No, I'm going to be the champion.
It is a winner piece, so I guess no one's the favourite at the moment.
Well, it's those 2. It could end up being a rivalry between those 2, but I have a sneaky suspicion that you've got the likes of Kean Berta in there in 3rd place, who's getting consistent. Yeah. Dan Ginchard pulled off a stunning win yesterday. Fair play to him.
He took the 3rd win, didn't he?
Yeah. So, and Sebastian Bloch. You can never count him out.
British Open champion for a reason. So, but yeah, back to those 2 on the front row. I know Alfie Rigby and the team there over the moon with that pole position, the first pole position of the season in terms of a first final. So that's going to be your front row. Rigby from Mercouris. Then it's Kean Berta and Daniel Ginchard. Sebastian Bloch, Sonny Smith, who qualified on the front row yesterday, starts on the outside of row 3. Then it is Ethan Simmons, who drove very well yesterday from Harley Horton. Neo Phipps into the top 10 with Archie Walker. Tristan Rennie, very quick yesterday, 3rd in qualifying. A miserable first heat, but second heat was 6th place. So watch out for the young Scot there. Tristan Rennie on the inside of row 6. Then it's Mika Singh, Ryan Willis, Darryl Taylor, row 7. Leon Henderson and Daniel Parron-Smith are row 8. Daniel Holdsworth and Lorenzo Cordell, row 9. Jack Plant and Aidan Lyon, row 10. Marcus Luzia and Jack Clements, row 11. Mitchell Gibbons and Jack Hobson, row 12. An unfortunate surprise result. Oliver Greenall, one to watch in 13th place. He'll be moving forward, no doubt. Joshua Patterson to his outside. Then it's Anthony Sofronio and Sasha Wiley. Ed Pearson And Oliver Stewart, of course, 2 big movers through from the repechage, Jake, having both qualified inside the top 10. So we'll be watching out for those. Zach Styler showed fantastic pace in that B final. So keep an eye on the 96. And then the other 3 drivers coming through from the repechage, Ollie Hanley, Alistair Cresswell and Morris Henry.
This is going to be an interesting one. Standing start in greasy conditions.
What tyres have they gone on?
They have
wets.
gone onto wets.
Has anyone gone on slicks, I wonder?
Well, let's have a look in the top 6.
All
Nobody
wets.
there is on
Dan
wets.
Ashton telling us it's all
on
wets.
wets. So that is because the rain is actually coming down now a little bit on the circuit as well. So it's all a little bit greasy as they battle away for position. Dan Ginchard giving the thumbs up to Dan Ashton there as they get ready for the start. 12 minutes on the clock. Wets on every kart. Greasy, slippery conditions. Some drivers will favour this better than others. And in particular, these guys in the top 6 will have a lot of work to do. But some of them will do better than others, particularly our 3 winners in the 3 men at the front, Rigby, McCurris and Dan Ginchard on that second row, along with the 51 of Kian Berta. We're going to wait for the green flag at the back of the field. We've got someone missing in the middle of the grid.
What row is
that? Is around about row 10, I think. Let me just count them. 3, 6, 9, 12. It's row 13.
You struggle to do that
It's
often.
row 13. Now, that is Oliver Greenall. Oliver Greenall, the number 4 seed, is not in position on that row of the grid. And he should be on the inside line, but if I count 13 rows back, the 81 there is Mitchell Gibbons. Yeah, there's no Oliver Greenall. 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, the 13 row on the inside is missing, and that's Oliver Greenall. Is he there right at the very back, I wonder?
Is he starting from the pits?
Potential. Well, we've got a long pause here on the grid. I'm not entirely sure what the wait is for, actually, because we're waiting in position. We haven't had the green flag at the back of the grid either. And these guys are sitting on tick over on the start line, waiting for us to get underway.
Raindrops perhaps falling on the visors, getting a bit nervous. 5-second boards.
Here we go, and it's time to get the race underway. It's wet conditions now. Here we go, and it's a good start from McCurris. McCurris launches forward. Ginchard slots in behind Kian Berta, and they launch to the first chicane. No problems at all as the drivers get underway on wet tyres. They've got plenty of grip in the first couple of corners, and that was the right call. Wet tyres. It's not monsoon conditions, but it's definitely wet and greasy enough that these guys need to consider these wet tyres, and that's why they've gone for them. So as they come up and over the bridge, turn 5, McCurris leads the way, and I think Rigby's down to 4th.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot for the cadets to go on to wet tyres then as they head down towards hairpin.
Yeah, Berta's into second, Ginchard's third, Rigby coming straight back at Ginchard. Ginchard shuts the door. Good work from Ginchard to hold Rigby at bay.
Then it's Block in 5th place, and I think it's Horton next along. Is it always with 3 wide going in towards
the second
I think we may have had Ethan Simmons in there. Sebastian Block emerges in front. Then it's Sonny Smith. Then it is the 22 of Harley Horton. Behind 1 place behind that then is Ethan Simmons, splitting them perhaps maybe no Neo Phipps, I don't think.
We've got a spin at the first left-hander after the hairpin. Somebody's dropped all the way back. I'm not sure who that is. It looks as though Neo Phipps has got a problem on the transponder. So
either that or he's
out of the race.
Jack Clements hasn't.
Jack Clements is the one who spun. Jack Clements is the one who spun there, so he now goes down to the back. That's a real shame for Clements. Anyway, over the line, McCurris leads. Second is Berta. Third is Ginchard, and they're a long way ahead of Alfie Rigby. Block is 5th.
Going back to Jack Clements, he qualified 5th yesterday, so his weekend is turned on its head. Now Greenall has come through, by the way. So
okay. Not sure what happened there.
You just can't count, basically.
No, can't count. That's exactly it. Anyway, Sonny Smith has the
warning.
Sonny Smith has the warning flag. Now, there is no Neo Phipps on my screen coming through, but I wonder if that's a transponder issue. Because I think he might be there. So, I'm just looking out for the 36. So, the 36, we're just trying to see if he's there through the... Oh, we got a spin! A spin up at the first hairpin. Now, who is that in the top 10? That is a bit of an issue there. Somebody has gone back onto the circuit. Who was that? I think that was the 21. Was that Daniel Holdsworth just down there outside the top 10 spinning around? Not entirely sure if that was him or not. It looked to me as though it was, though. So I think Holdsworth getting himself back up the order once again. Anyway, McCurris leads. Berta, Ginchard, Rigby, Block, Horton in there in sixth position. Then Sonny Smith, Archie Walker, Ethan Simmons, and Mikai Singh. 36, retired to the pits before the start with a technical issue. That's what the hold-up was. Okay, so it was Neo Phipps who was missing off the grid.
Now, that's a real shame for Neo Phipps. He was due to start on the inside of row 5. So Neo Phipps having qualified 17th, and he actually was third in one of the heats yesterday.
Yep.
So a real shame that for Neo.
So he'll have to start the last race of the weekend from the back of the grid, and that's going to be a big one for him. Alfie Rigby, new fastest lap, half a second quicker than the leader. So Rigby is catching them up. Look at that.
Look, he's ran wide off the bridge there, but still with Ginchard. Block his 5th. Then it's Smith. Then it's Horton, or is it? Well, Horton being attacked there from Archie Walker. So Archie Walker, the driver, I couldn't quite identify at the start, but he is now up into 7th place. Then behind
Rigby gets third. Rigby gets third off Ginchard through the second hairpin, and there's a spin behind them as well.
Oh dear!
Now who is that that's gone? Is that Horton? It is Harley Horton.
Yeah. Well, he's not lost a ton of places, but he's lost a load of time. So not ideal at all. Now some movers early on. Jack Plant's up 6, Mitchell Gibbons up 8, Ollie Greenall is up 8 as well. Ed Pearson from the B final is up into 22nd place. So good progress so far with still 8 minutes plus 1 lap.
Really exciting stuff then in the Honda Cadet final one. The rain is getting heavier. Here it comes. This is where things are going to get interesting. Kian Berta closing up on Theo Makuris.
Oh, and that's a challenge for 4th place.
Oh, nice move.
That's Sonny Smith,
Sonny Smith on the inside of Sebastian Bloch. That was a lovely overtaking of the first corner.
Having just done a new fastest lap as well, so brilliant stuff.
Ginchard down in 6th position. Not sure what happened to him on the last lap, but he's lost a couple of places. So Ginchard still trying to get himself in the mix.
And Kian Berta,
look at that.
He's closing in.
Chipping away at Makuris. Makuris responds with a fastest first sector, which is immediately beaten by the man on form, Sonny Smith, up in 5th position.
And Daryl Taylor's making good progress as well. He's up to 9th place, having gained
Hang on, we've lost
5.
somebody. We've lost somebody. Sonny Smith is suddenly in 4th position. Sebastian Bloch's already got it. So Smith having got through. My apologies.
Yeah, he got through at turn 1, didn't he, with that move. Just set the new fastest lap in the process.
Catching Rigby, big style here for 3rd position.
And he's gone purple in Sector 1 and purple in Sector 2, Sonny Smith. So he is absolutely flying.
Yeah, he really is chipping away at this now.
And Kian Berta is now right with Theo Makuris. The gap, to give you an idea, was half a second at the end of the last lap. Now it's absolutely nothing as they slide their way out of the last corner and down the start-finish straight to complete 4 laps. New fastest lap from Kian Berta.
Berta and Sonny Smith are going to go very well in these conditions. We're all talking about Makuris and Rigby at the start. Hang on, Berta and Smith have a few things to say about that. Berta running very well here on the back of Theo Makuris, looking for an opportunity if he gets a good exit out of 5, and he has got a good exit out of 5. He'll start to give him pressure down to the hairpin. Meanwhile, Smith is even closer to Rigby as they come down towards the hairpin. Look how much time is being gained by Berta in the hairpin braking zone, and similarly to Smith as well. Smith is gaining a lot of ground.
Here we go. I think Smith could be lining up a move very shortly here to pass Rigby. Rigby perhaps could do with a bit of assistance though. They've got the leaders just up ahead of them that may start to battle very shortly. As further down the order is that Tristan Rennie making a move on Jack Plant. It is. So Tristan Rennie now up into 11th place.
Good work from the Project 1 racing driver, the young man from Scotland, doing a fantastic job. Tristan Rennie getting himself up towards the top 10. Harley Horton is in that top 10 at the moment, and fair credit to him. He's one of the only, I think he might be the only driver this weekend doing both Honda and Army Cadet. So fair play to Harley Horton, doing a cracking job.
Yeah, there used to be a few that did it, but now...
I think more drivers just want to focus on the one campaign, so they're not pushing themselves too hard.
Harry Thompson did it to great success, of course, winning both titles.
Harley Horton, over the course of this weekend, could even find himself in the top 5 in both classes. There is Sonny Smith giving pressure to Alfie Rigby. Berta even closer still to Theo Makuris. Sebastian Bloch's not out of this one yet, though.
No, he's I tell you what, he's starting to get a little bit more confidence now in terms of this race. He's gaining on the 2 guys ahead just a little bit now, and he's gone quickest of anyone through the first sector. So you see just getting his head down there, going up towards the second hairpin, the British Open champion, and he's looking good at the moment.
Battle for 11th at the moment. That's Plant and Horton having a nice little scrap. Horton manages to get the place back from... Oh, no, that's Mitchell Gibbons. My apologies. Mitchell Gibbons moving his way up to 11th.
That will be 12 places.
Oh, and there comes the 4 plate. There comes Oliver Greenall.
Yeah.
Greenall's up to 13th now. Make that 12th, is it? Yes, it is.
Oh, yes, good move
from Greenall. Good move from
Greenall.
Greenall on the inside of the left-hander. Oliver Greenall suddenly getting himself back into contention. Up
12, 13.
13 places now. 13 places, Oliver Greenall. He can get himself back into contention for the victory in the second final.
Well,
brilliant work.
4 minutes to go. Sebastian Bloch, new fastest lap. So that is a 1:14.08 for Sebastian Bloch.
And we barely talked about it, but behind Ginchard, we've got the likes of Archie Walker and Mikai Singh with Tristan Rennie and Daryl Taylor.
Yeah.
So Mikai Singh up 4 places, Walker up 3.
And is this a change for third about to happen?
I think it's happening, yes. Sonny Smith is giving Rigby... No, he's giving him
gonna
support.
push
He's pushing him forward. He wants the victory.
Yeah.
He's giving him that little nerve to get closer to these 2 guys up in front. He thinks a win is on.
Well, I think it's very much possible if we see Makuris and Berta start to battle at any point.
Well, he needs to get on with it because Bloch is going very fast on this lap. A 25.92.
He just had a good look over his shoulder there and saw Bloch closing in.
And so, right, let's go and get the leaders. Let's go after them.
Well, it may be reassessing the whole situation. Here comes Greenall up the inside of Gibbons trying to go into the chicane, but backs out of the move in the end. That is for...
That's 11th, isn't it, that move, I think?
Oh, that's actually Holly Horton, was it? He was trying to go... No, that was...
that was Mitchell Gibbons,
that was
the
Gibbons.
81.
Gibbons having just gone past Greenall on this lap.
So he's got him back again. That's the battle for 12th place.
Oh, and a change of lead.
Yeah, Berta leads it. We didn't see that one, sorry, but Berta has got through. Makuris
Right.
now trying to come back at him. He's going to go for the inside. Is he at 3? No, he doesn't. He's hanging back. Smith is still pressuring Rigby with Bloch in there as well. Those 3 trying to close up on the 2 leaders.
And Makuris is back through.
Yep, he's got the move back. Rigby defending from Smith. These 3 need to keep pushing work together.
Work together, guys.
Getting in together on the back straight.
Bloch is now fastest on track once again. 1:13.48.
They really need Berta to have another crack at Theo Makuris, don't they? 2 minutes 25 plus 1 lap left on the clock. They really want Kian Berta to have another go at Makuris. But now we know he can do it.
Not just one more go, 2, 3 more.
Yeah.
Smith looking over there to the mechanics. Right, what's the instructions, I wonder? Oh, well, he doesn't have any time to do anything. Bloch's gone up to 4th place.
And
Good
fastest first sector of all,
Archie Walker. Yeah.
Where did that one come from? 25.86. Fastest of second sector of all comes from Makuris, having got back past Kian Berta.
Make that Archie Walker again. He's absolutely flying.
Walker suddenly has found his feet, and he's on a flying lap. He's even faster than the likes of the leaders up front. 0.04 of a second quicker than Makuris and Rigby that time by. Makuris leads it. Berta in second, dropping back. Rigby's breaking clear of Bloch and Smith. Then Ginchard. Then the 91 of Archie Walker, leading rookie. Fastest lap of the race, 1:12.76. Go, Archie.
Oh, that's a good lap time, that, from Archie Walker. And he's brought the gap down to just over a second to Daniel Ginchard ahead of him as we head down off the bridge now. Now, what is Bloch going to do in 4th place? Because he's been the man quickest on track quite a few times in this race, and he's going to go through to 3rd place. So, Sebastian Bloch now into 3rd. Rigby back down to 4th. Smith back down to 5th.
Rigby will get him back in the second hairpin. No problem at all. And Smith's going to dive for that inside line as well. Goodness me. Bloch decides to defend and cuts him back on the exit. Very nicely done. So Bloch gets himself back in a 4th position, covers off Sonny Smith, but Alfie Rigby is back through in a 3rd place, and all that hard work Sebastian Bloch just did to get himself there in the 1st place, he's got to repeat and do all over again. Now they're going to come through this time by Theo Makuris. Has got a big gap on Kian Berta. He's suddenly dropped the hammer and started to get away. 2 laps to go as he comes across the line. He was 6/10 quicker in the second sector alone, and he's quicker than him again in the 3rd. Makuris is checking out.
He's just done a 1:11.99. So Makuris has wrapped things up here as a change for 3rd place under the bridge.
Bloch goes for Rigby.
Yep, and he's taken 3rd place.
Rigby's got him back. Now Bloch's going to get him on the undercut again, and he takes him again. That was 3 overtakes in 2 corners.
Off the bridge, and Rigby's going to try and line it up once more.
Bloch having a long look at Rigby behind him as if to say, what do you think you're playing at?
The dummy, and Rigby
goes
to the inside.
Bloch, and Smith's going to get them both. Sonny Smith gets past them both. Brilliant work there from the 95.
Oh, here comes Rigby once again, though. Rigby back into third place, and Daniel Ginchard's now with them.
Blocks on the inside of Smith. Smith is trying to work with Rigby. Ginchard's trying to force the issue for Block to get through on the inside, up and over the curbs. And now Ginchard's trying to come past Sonny Smith.
Right.
Rigby's got through into third position.
And he's broken clear, hasn't he? And Archie Walker's closing in as well. Archie Walker closed in by 6/10 through the second sector alone, so don't count out the number 91 of Archie Walker. Third place may be gone, but fourth place still on as Theo Mercurius takes the last lap board in a comfortable first position. Keen Berta likewise in a comfortable second. Alfie Rigby arguably in a comfortable third, Jake, but it's all on for fourth place.
It is on for fourth position, but there's still greasy wet conditions as we're on the last lap, so anything can happen with this battle for third position. But Theo Mercurius
I tell you what,
absolutely marches on.
Is Alfie Rigby being caught off the bridge?
I think he is. And look, there's a big one in there. Archie Walker's getting in the mix now as well.
Look at Sebastian Block. Look at Sebastian Block. Both to the outside. Alfie Rigby contact.
They're going to take together, and Smith is going to get them both again. Up to fifth comes Ginchard. Now he's going to battle with Block. Ginchard tries to sell him the dummy. Block is wise to it. He might drift through. Rigby trying to come back.
And here comes Archie Walker.
Block is going to get through into fifth position if he keeps this pace.
And here comes Archie Walker to fourth place.
Rigby doesn't realise he's coming and gets through. Ginchard's going to get past Rigby on the undercut. Rigby tries to come back through on Walker. Terrific racing. Rigby gets back through on Bobby Game corner. A lack of experience means that Walker just has to get himself back in. But Theo Mercurius is going to get a brilliant victory in the way here at PF International. Terrific victory, Mercurius, and he's delighted with it. Second place for Kian Berta, frustrated that he didn't get the win. Third place for Sonny Smith. What a drive. Block is fourth. Rigby is fifth from Ginchard and Archie Walker.
I thought Rigby had that in the bag, but you've got to say it was a really just to give you an idea, Jake, it was Sebastian Block did a 25.27 in the first sector on that last lap, and Alfie Rigby did a 26 flat, so he was 8/10 quicker through the first sector, and I think if you're that quick, Sebastian Block deserved to gain the place. Wasn't quite able to take the third, of course. That went the way of Sonny Smith, who was in the right place at the right time. And he takes third. Block fourth, Rigby fifth, Ginchard sixth, Archie Walker. Very impressive drive from him to finish in seventh place.
Well, behind them we have the rest of the rookies. Mackay Singh and Tristan Rennie breaking into the top 10 in their first meeting. Really good work. Darryl Taylor rounding out the top 10 from Mitchell Gibbons.
And then look at these
Ed
quartet
Pearson,
of drivers here.
Look, Gibbons up 12 places to 11th. Pearson up 17 to 12th. Greenall up 12 to 13th. Oliver Stewart up 16th to 14th.
Ed Pearson and Oliver Stewart.
Clements fought back well, didn't he? Considering Clements was off on the first lap. He fought back to 15th in the end. Josh Patterson up 10 places to 16th as well. Then we have Henderson, Ethan Simmons and Harley Horton both got caught out by the conditions. And Jack Hobson rounds out the top 20. Then we've got Holdsworth, Luzio, Ryan Willis struggling, Daniel Parron-Smith, Sasha Wiley up a few places, Lorenzo Cordell, Antonis Sofronio, Aidan Lynn, Morris Henry, then Zach Styler, Alistair Cresswell, and Ollie Handley, with retirements, I'm afraid, from Jack Plant and Neo Phipps. Phipps will have to charge from the back of the grid. But what a race from Theo Mercurius. Masterclass drive in the end. Broke clear when he needed to. But terrific work from Sonny Smith and Archie Walker in particular to establish themselves as championship contenders. Archie Walker as a rookie, Sonny Smith very much as the man we didn't expect to come through. So really good work. Great racing.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from the Honda Cadets there. Theo Mercurius, a masterclass on how to drive in these conditions. Keen Berta just not able to hang on as the race ticked down towards the end. And a brilliant third place there for Sonny Smith. Block, he'll be gutted he wasn't able to take that third right at the end. It was a very bold move going in towards the first hairpin. Alfie Rigby, I think, will probably be disappointed with fifth, but he's got the second final to try and make up for that again. Still, those solid championship points, which is good. Ginchard sixth, Walker seventh, and then Singh, Rennie, and Darryl Taylor. Best lap went to Theo Mercurius, a 1:11.9. The only driver to go in the 1:11s. The closest lap to him, I think, was from Sonny Smith with
a 1:12.13.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing racing. You've now got half an hour's respite, ladies and gentlemen, listening at home, wherever you are in the world, and here at the PF International Circuit. Half an hour's respite before we crack on with the action again at 20 minutes past 1 for the second finals. And we'll start with Junior Rotax. See you in half an hour. Plenty of great racing to come.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jacques Villeneuve, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris and you're listening to Downforce Radio.